Hey friends, it's Dory here for Gamereactor at Gamescom, and we are going to be talking about For Honor. Now, we've done several interviews on this game already, last time at E3 talking about the campaign that was revealed here, but here it's all about the multiplayer. You're showing off all the modes and all of that. First, before we get into that, let's touch a little bit upon what I've been wondering about, which is the progression. How exactly does that work in the game?
Well, the progression of your hero is per hero, basically. So you will have to progress with each and every one of them. And that progression is both XP, that will unlock feats and visual customization, but also gear. And those gears have statistics associated to them, so you will actually be able to even customize that gear to make it better. So you really have how you play with that hero, the way that hero will progress through XP, but also the gear you're gonna get from him. Which every game you're gonna get a chance to get loot and you're gonna get XP.
Yeah, but the gear is still, even though it has stats, it's more, I mean, you're not gonna change the weapons that the hero has, right?
Well, the type of weapon that you have, for example, a warden will always fight with a longsword. That's a given. But you can have different types of blades, different types of hilts, and those have stats, yes, but it's always a trade-off. It was really important for us, for a player that never played some hero, to be able to play it later and not be stuck because, oh, I don't have any good loot, so I cannot play with that hero because it's been 3 months since the game is out. So it's always trade-off, so it gives you more option to really specialize your character, but it's not better stat-wise. It's really more options for you to cater more to your playstyle, but you can always pick any hero up, even though you don't have gear for him, and be competitive online.
And you mentioned also traits there. The traits, are they specific to each hero or class, or is it a mix and match of, all the traits are open to every hero?
So in For Honor we call them feats, but it's the same thing as well, special abilities, skills. So the feats, they are specific to a hero, when you unlock them, but there's some feats that are shared between type of hero, like all assassin can have some feats. Every vanguard, for example, have a feat whenever you kill soldiers, again, HP back. But there's also some feats that are unique to specific heroes.
Yeah, you mentioned there the assassin and the vanguard, so let's get a little bit into the classes, because I kind of want to hear, because you have 12 heroes that then fit into the classes, how asymmetric does the gameplay get in between them?
Well, the main thing to understand is that each hero is really unique. So even though there's types of heroes and factions, they still have very distinctive features. However, they have specialties. So heavy assassin are quicker. They don't show their stance whenever you attack. So you have to look forward to it, and the attack comes at the last minute. They are more based on harass, but also the factions have gameplay elements to them. As an example, all the Vikings have harass attacks. They are more aggressive, while every knight has more zoning, good throws. So it's twofold. It's really the factions that define the hero is type, but also each hero has a new set of moves that's really specific. However, if you think about the type of hero, it's shared gameplay elements, shared feats, and also a shared way to gain renown, which is the way in-game to unlock those feats. So every assassin, for example, get more renown when they kill enemies. And every vanguards, for example, they get more renown when they kill soldiers. So the way you're going to select your hero is also the role you're going to play in a game. It's not rigid, though. You can still gain renown by doing anything that's relevant to the mode, but you just get that extra bonus if you play it the way that the hero shines the most.
Now, first when the game was released, I got the distinct feeling, here we have Vikings versus samurais versus knights. How does that work when you start up a multiplayer match? Does the team select a faction, or can you actually mix and match within the heroes?
So, since we decided to make all the heroes really unique and not just different skins on the same mechanics, we really wanted for every player to be able to play every hero with their friends. So, as an example, my boyfriend is samurai, but I'm a Viking. And we want to play together, so you can do that. You can play your raider alongside an Orochi if you want. There's no problem with that because we wanted to open it for friends to be able to play together without betraying what's in their true hearts in terms of faction.
Cool. Now let's get into the main thing here. You've talked about all the modes in multiplayer. Let's go through them.
So we have 5 modes, 5 multiplayer modes, plus the campaign, obviously. So we have the Minion, which is an objective mode, 4v4, objective-based, 3 objectives, 2 control zones, and a front, which is where all the soldiers and the army from both teams will clash together. So you gain points in that mode by killing enemies and getting the zones, and at the end you get what we call breaking, which is kind of like a second death where you will not respawn. At that time, if you are breaking, you get to stick together and revive your friends with the revive mechanic. But if you are the one that has the upper hand, it's the time to annihilate the enemy and just kill them all. We also have 2 other modes that we call kill modes, which is skirmish and elimination. Skirmish is a bit like a deathmatch, but the way you're going to score points is a bit deeper than that. Choosing your opponent is really important in skirmish because if you kill someone and you get revenge because it just killed you, or you kill him in a 1v1, you actually get more points. So if you get killed by someone that can score a high level of points, it's a big problem for your team. So you really got to be careful who's engaging you. Are you worth more points? Is he worth more points? But you can also just play it and kill the shit out of everyone.
Yeah, so you want to run out and get your nemesis.
Yeah, that's the best way to win the game. And we also have elimination, which is quite hardcore. You have only 1 life, and it's a best of 5. So the first team that gets 3 rounds wins the game, and a round is won by eliminating the whole enemy team.
There's no AI in that mode, right?
No AI in that mode. It's really pure fighting and coordination with your team. And that one can select: do you want to come together, try to pick 3 targets? Will you take an assassin and just roam the map and try to get them from behind? It's really important to coordinate in elimination. Coordination is also important in Brawl, which is one of our 2 duel modes, where you're going to team up with 1 person, so it's a 2v2 duel. And in that mode, the way you're going to select your team, the composition of the hero is really the core of it. Will you take an Orochi with a Kensai? Would you take a Berserker and a Conqueror? So it really changes the way you're going to play the map, and you're going to play with your ally. And at the end, if you want to know who's the best fighter, you play in duel 1v1. You look your opponent in the eye, and you kill him in a best of 5.
And the brawl and duel, it seems a bit more pure because you can't activate the traits during those.
That is true. There is no...
The feats, sorry.
That's fine. That is true. There's no feats in those modes. It's really a focus on the art of battle, which is our combat system, and the way you're going to interact with the environment. Fire, pits, spikes, walls. These are really, really crucial in those modes because it has a big impact since we focus only on fight, and your death means that you lost one of those precious rounds.
Let's talk a little bit about those maps, because I think we saw 3 here today, all based on each faction. Talk a little bit about the design behind them, and also, I mean, is there a number of maps known that we're going to be getting at launch?
There are more, but I cannot give you a number right now. What's important to understand is in For Honor, the maps have different gameplays. It's not just different skins on the same layout. It was really crucial for us to showcase different playstyle and different strategies on maps. One that we're showcasing is the Overwatch map, and in that one you have 2 big bridges with gaping holes in them, so it makes a big difference if you choose a hero that has good throws, so you can throw them in there, and the control zone on the top is really protected. On the other side, you can have a map like Citadel Gate, where you have a control zone that's closer to your spawn. So it really changes the mechanics and the way you're going to handle the map, because you have one that's really close. So the fastest hero has lesser of an advantage in that case, but more of the heavies. So your team composition can change on a map, or you can keep the hero you like the most, but also the way you're going to handle it and the way you're going to handle the front, the zones, and the dual arenas that are unique to each map also.
Now, I played the game originally at E3 last year, I believe. I played it again now, and I have to say it's gone leaps and bounds. But you've made a lot of little tweaks. Can you talk about some of them? So, for example, in the Dominion mode.
Of course. since we had a lot of open live periods, and we also had all the events where people were playing, which I've went to almost all of them and looked at players and analyzed the way they played, and we also did playtest. I had a ton of data to see how I could improve the Dominion mode. So we had forums and we had our live period before, and everybody gave us all their comments at the events. And one of the first thing that we've had as a comment is that it was hard to handle multiple opponents fights. And we acknowledged that and came up with a brand new mechanics that's the revenge mode. So the revenge is basically when you get attacked with multiple opponents and you're in a lesser number, it's going to charge really fast. So you block a couple hits, you get hit one or twice, and then you get revenge. And the revenge can actually spread out your opponent, gives you a shield, and allow you to defend against those guys for a short period of time, or run away if it's preferable, or wait for a friend to help you. So that's one of the things.
But you've also made it a bit more easy to block when there's two people attacking you, right?
We added what we call the external opponent sign, so you can see on the HUD whenever there's an attack that comes from another enemy. So it's really useful because you can actually know where you have to block instead of just having to look, because it could have been overwhelming. So we try to give you more tools to do it, but you still have to do it yourself, because For Honor is a game of skill.
Now, it's soon that people out there can actually start getting their hands on the game, right?
It's really soon. We're going to have a closed alpha actually in September, and the game is coming out on February 14th.
And the platforms that it's going to be coming out on?
PC, Xbox One, and PS. And the PC version looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.